Congratulations on finally fixing Jane's name in the video crawl. I'm proud of you, Robert.
Excellent.
Like I said, I did fix it, I just didn't replace the video.
It's fine.
Hello everybody, this is Fight Club Hubs. Welcome to another wonderful episode of GVN Live. With me is Celadon, Mark B. Writing, and Mr. Pure Instinct. And how is everybody doing today? It is a beautiful 95-degree day in the East Coast. For me, anyway. We'll start with Mark. Mark, how are you feeling in your little hellhole down there? Otherwise, New Jersey.
I have cookies, so I'm fine.
Okay.
Good.
He has cookies.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Are we doing the whole what are you playing thing? Because I actually played something.
Oh.
No. Holy shit.
Oh, shit. You know what? Okay, everybody, strap
Wow.
yourselves in. Okay, Mark, tell us what you've been
Alright.
playing. What have you been up to?
I'm playing a game called Void Terrarium.
Ah.
I'm not familiar. Please go on.
So there's this side group of people in Nipponichi as a development company who make like these aesthetically weird and interesting games. If you've seen Hodlnik, aka the Firefly Diaries, or the Yomawari games, things like that. Like they have a very distinct aesthetic style to them. This game is made by that same group. The basic gist of it is the world has ended. It's fucking over. And there's you're a robot that just woke up one day and is kind of walking around that ends up discovering both an AI that was responsible for all of the human beings who were alive but ended up getting pissed at them and killing them all and regrets it, and the last human girl. And there's clearly something wrong with her because there's shit growing out of one of her eyes, but whatever, it's fine. So you have to build this fucking glass bottle and keep her alive in it by feeding her mushrooms and lightning bugs. And it's you have to go out into the world and play in roguelike dungeons to collect things to make her little house better and stuff. It's very strange.
2D or 3D art style?
2D.
2D?
Well,
It's isometric from what I can tell. For the
yeah,
most
it's
part.
I think it's a combination of 2D and 3D. The side-scrolling stuff is definitely 2D. The
So something
the
close
in-dungeon
to
stuff, I'm unsure
Bastion?
if it's... Well, it's a dungeon crawler. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what
roguelike.
Bastion kind of is, but not a roguelike. But
Yeah, it's if you've played, Shiren the Wanderer or I don't remember the name of that game series that Atlas published with the pink-haired ninja girl, but that,
Muramasa?
or
Oh, no. I know the one you're talking about.
yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but not Muramasa. That's a side scroller. But yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Fushingai Dungeon games in general. If you have played Chocobo's Dungeon or something, it's like that. You send your little robot into the dungeon. When you move, the enemies move. If you die, you get
I'm
ejected.
familiar with those type of games because I actually have one for the Dreamcast. It's actually a long-running series.
Yes, exactly. It's a
Okay,
Fushingai
now I'm
dungeon
familiar
game.
with what you're talking about, the style of game.
you go into the dungeon. You move around, and as you move around, you deplete energy. You have to manage your energy. You can't go into the dungeon with anything. So if you die, all of your shit is lost. You start at level 1 every time you go in. Blah blah blah, that kind of thing. This game subverts that a bit because when you upgrade the girl's terrarium, you get potential upgrades that allow you to improve your performance in the dungeons. So you can be stronger, you can have more inventory space to carry stuff, things like that. it hasn't gotten to be as ball breaking as these sorts of games usually are. Though my friend Jay Rose has informed me that he's gotten to the point where it can be pretty brutal. And oh yeah, time, whatever the fuck it is. I think that came out in the U.S. But yeah, it's only $25, so I was like, you know what, I want to try it, and it's pretty good. You can get a physical version of it for $60 if you really, really want, like, you know,
a physical copy.
Yeah, it looks like it comes with some extra stuff too.
Yeah,
it comes with
it's like a soundtrack, some lapel pins,
mm-hmm.
a physical mood tracker, and a keychain.
A physical mood tracker. So we're talking about like a rock that changes based on the temperature of your hand?
It's like a stand-up notepad that like has different images of the little AI on it that says you can like flip it to show what your mood is.
I'm angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Joel, J Rose ended up buying
I just put it in chat.
Yeah, he ended up buying the physical version because he didn't realize that there was like the huge price disparity. But yeah, like I think he very much regretted the idea of spending $60 on a game that he could have gotten for $25 digitally. He prefers to get physical copies, but when the game is more than 2 times the asking price, it's like I don't give a fuck about CDs. I don't give a fuck about lapel pins. Just give me the damn game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, if you're in it for the collectibles, then that seems like it would be worth it for a limited edition. But
yeah, I mean, like for me, it's like I don't need that game to be $60. I just don't. Like I just want to play it, and I'm probably going to end up hating it by the end of the week. But for now, it's cute, and I enjoy it. And you know, if you like dungeon crawlers if you like roguelike games, if you like Fushingai Dungeon, it's $25. Give it a shot.
Okay. So, moving around the round table, I think I'm going to go next because I'm a greedy little bastard. I finally beat Trials of Mana Remake. I love that game to bits. I even went and did some post-game stuff. I beat the first super boss. And then I went and I decided to go after the Black Rappy. That was a mistake. Up to that point, the game was pretty easy. I think I had only one game over in my 38 hours of playing. Then I went to the Black Rappy. One hit killed my entire party.
You fool!
No, and I'm like close to level 75 with all my characters. Like, holy crap, that little bastard. So I decided to put the game away, and I'm picking Shenmue 3 back up. I started playing that again a couple days or yesterday. Yeah, I'm finally getting back. I'm going to beat that game. I'm not going to let my little depression I had at the end of December, push me away. I'm going to beat my back catalog. And once I hit Shenmue 3, I'm going to go back to Atelier Rise Up, and because I'm so happy they announced a sequel. Yay! And
that's the first time they've actually done that with the same character too. So that's
usually in the Atelier series, like when they do like a trilogy story, they don't do a direct sequel with the same character. They'll have a sequel, but with a new lead protagonist, and then they'll bring back the previous protagonist in as like a side character or as a mentor character for the new lead. And that's kind of what they've been doing up until, Atelier Rise 2 being announced, where she's the lead and she's in a new continent now. So I'm kind of excited to see what it is because out of all the Atelier games I've played, Maruru is still one of my favorites because it was and it's not just because it was the first one I played. I kind of liked how that game and the characters progressed in terms of like growth and stuff like that with its weird story. I really also enjoyed Atelier Ryza a lot because I loved all the characters in that game too. They do a really nice coming of age story for not just your main character, but for every character that you interact with, and it's including the party and NPCs. So I had a lot of fun with that, and I'm looking forward to continuing the story. And yeah, that's about it. And so yeah. Now I'm gonna stop being selfish. I'm gonna hand it over to Spencer. So hey Spencer, how you doing? What you been up to, buddy? What you been playing, huh?
Oh, I am I'm okay. I am in about a 92-degree hellhole, so 3 degrees cooler at least. So we got that
Yay!
going. But it's about 100% humidity, so it's just like swimming to your car. It's awful.
I'm just happy I got that AC installed. Otherwise, I would be suffering right now.
Yeah, we have a fan back here. It's not too bad in the house today, thankfully. But man, it's not been fun. I'm not a fan of summer. I don't like heat. I'm a cold person.
I can put things on, but I can't take things off.
Exactly. That's what I always say. But I actually have been making an effort in the mornings because I work in like the afternoons into nighttime because my wife has been working from home, and part of my work is I stream, and I yell a lot when I stream. So yelling while she's trying to talk on the phone to someone, at a normal real job doesn't quite work. So I've moved to night times working, and during the daytime is kind of like my downtime. So in the mornings, I've been making an effort to play video games for fun again. And I finally went back and finished Gears 5. I started it when I had a Game Pass trial, and then didn't finish it before my trial ran out, and finally went back and finished it on Monday.
Oh, right on.
It was fine. It is a Gears game. You go around, shoot a lot of ugly ass dudes.
Yeah, that was about my impression of it too. It was fine.
Yeah, I had fun with it. It was, it was good for what it was. I liked the open world aspect that they added to it, because it gave you a little bit. It felt like you had more to do instead of just like you're going from point A to point B and that's it. It was, you can stop here and do these little side quests and upgrade your little robot and things along the way. And I felt like it's set up for the next game in the series really well. Other than that, I've been trying out Ring Fit again and trying to actually stick to it. So far, I've done 2 days. My body is miserable. But
so you're saying your body wasn't ready?
No, it was not. I am horribly out of shape. But that's really about it as far as what I'm playing. Just kind of for fun to play.
All right. How about you, Celadon? What have you been up to, my dear?
You misspelt my Twitter handle again. It's fine though.
Did I?
It's CH, not RH, my dear.
Okay. Well, that's not.
God
something I
damn
can't
it!
Fix.
It's like this fucking thing is run by a live streamer or something.
God damn, who knew? So I started trying to play Ghosts of Tsushima last night, and then my internet ate absolute all kinds of shit. So yeah, that didn't work out too well. I got a little bit into it, but goddamn, that game is fucking pretty. I can't wait to actually get a chance to like really sit down with it and actually play it because it is gorgeous. And so far, like, the only problem I really have with it is like really close quarters fighting is kind of weird because there's no real general lock-on system, and the camera is super wonky. So I think I'm gonna have to turn the sensitivity up on that just a little bit so I can spin it faster. Because right now I've got it on like Monster Hunter sensitivity, and it's a little slow. So I miss people behind me, or I miss like archers, or I'm missing an audio cue here and there. But like, other than that, the game is playing really well. The photo mode and the fact that they actually got the rights to actually call it Kurosawa mode is like, I didn't expect that at all. Like because when they originally announced the game, they just called it a black and white photo mode. In the vein of Kurosawa films. But when you actually get into the game for the very first time, you can select the mode, and it's actually called Kurosawa mode, which means they actually got the rights from the film house to actually use that in the game as such, which a lot of people didn't think they'd be able to get the rights to it, but they did. So now they actually have the ability to call the mode Kurosawa mode, which I thought was really a nice touch. Other than that, we've been just kind of like vibing on the channel. Probably gonna try to finish up Final Fantasy VII Remake this week, probably Thursday.
Where are you at right now? I know you were near the end game. I was hoping you were near the end game.
I am actually. I just got up to the Shinra Tower. I have to make the decision to either go in the front door or go up the back stairs, which we already know what I'm doing. So,
Oh.
hey, look, there's an achievement attached to rocking the stairs. I'm not going to say that.
No, it's not that. Although I don't
But-
think I got the achievement, even though I did that. It's just you're just another 6 to 10 hours away from beating the game. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, like I could probably finish it in like 1 or 2 sessions. Like I don't think it'll be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I just wanted to go in on a discussion with you about this game for a long time now.
We'll talk about it soon enough.
Yeah, okay.
I mean that and the fact that they finally announced that Part 2 is actually in full development right now. So that's
Okay,
good.
that's good. That makes me happy right there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
like, Nomura actually stated like on Twitter and on social media, he's like, yeah, we are currently like in full production mode for Part 2. So
that's good. So,
positive.
to start off the show, we have 3 fun topics we're going to be talking about today. Okay, maybe 1 not so fun. Topics today, we're going to be talking about Army Navy shenanigans over at Twitch. A lot of anger and upheaval going on about what's happening there. We're going to talk a little bit about, the upcoming Xbox showcase. We're going to do a little bit of speculation. It's a little fun to guess what Microsoft's going to show off that isn't Halo or specs to the Xbox Series S or anything else for that matter. Maybe to figure out which studios are going to unveil what. And then we're going to end the night with a fun little topic that came to me at the last minute. Actually, it came to me while I was at work today because I'm just busy by myself trying to put the load away. I work in a supermarket, by the way, if anybody cares.
The load.
Thanks, Mark. I'm glad we were on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to say that because I knew one of you was going to fucking chime in, and you did. So.
Good.
But, yeah, and then I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just started getting, music playing in my head. I was enjoying and then humming the opening tune to Super Mario Brothers 2, World 1-1. It just popped in my head, and I'm just like, okay, that could be a fun topic.
I've ruined that song for everyone now.
I don't know how that's possible, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mark B. Writing, and I'm the storyteller, and I want to know, would you shit in a house elf's hands?
Yep.
I love that video, by the way. That was so well edited. Thank you.
My favorite part of the intro wasn't even that. It was just MPI. God damn it.
That's just
go
kind of
buy
my
a
reaction every time it comes up at this point. Is just, God damn it.
Yeah, and then your buddy at the end, I'm just gonna go buy a cross.
But yeah, I specifically said it to the Super Mario Brothers 2 theme because it's just the perfect song to ask people if they would defecate into a house elf's hands.
Oh,
I
geez.
find that song as a baseline is good for any sort of general shenaniganry because it's just goofy enough, but it's also the leitmotif is just catchy enough that it's not that big of a deal.
All right, but to get things going, let's start off talking about the wonderful world of Twitch gaming. We're all streamers here. We all, do the best we can to entertain people the way we
How
can.
dare you fucking accuse me of that?
I offended Mark again, Jan. It's not that hard, apparently, in this day and age.
No, not really. I'm gonna die now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I'm just a little phlegmy.
Ugh.
Are you over the COVID yet?
Kinda, I guess. I don't know. I think so, but at the same time, I can't really be sure. They gave me the all clear last week, but now of course because of the situation and the fact that a lot of I don't know, I can't get a job right now because every time I've applied or everybody I've talked to, they're all like, well, we expect everything to be back to normal by August, so we'll want to make sure that you can come in for things. But at the same time, we're hiring for remote for this, and then but we need at least an associate's degree, and I'm like,
Ugh.
Yeah.
for entry level tech support, y'all can go fuck yourselves with a broken fucking rake.
All right,
Idiots.
but at least the thing is that you're now starting to go and feel better, hopefully. Just phlegmy.
Oh, in general, yeah, I still have a little bit of a sinus thing, but I'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. He's my favorite lead singer.
Good.
But to continue on, so making headlines this past week, of course, people were up in arms and screaming on not just Twitch but also on Twitter about the Army esports team. You know, they were doing prize giveaways and whatnot, and they would send links to their winners or to people who were interested, and this link would end up sending them to a recruitment page. And on top of that, I believe now I'm going to just say this right here in the Facebook page. I have a guy, Bifuteki. He actually says he works with Navy. He says it's all Army. Navy doesn't have anything to do with this, but I don't know if one of you might actually have info on this, but
there's a touch, but yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad as what the Army was doing.
yeah, he's
Like,
saying
the
this.
Navy-
I guess he's interested in this mainly because he says he works with them, with the Navy. So as a streamer, so maybe we'll get some kind of clarity from him as well. But pretty much, Army and Navy have also been accused of muting, banning people who have been, commenting in their streams about asking questions in regards to war crimes. And hey, Mark, let's get your take on this.
So, like, this is two separate conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's address the war crime stuff first, since it's the one that more directly applies to the gentleman or lady, I don't know, in the Facebook chat who is a part of the Navy streaming service. So it's something we can address here. This is kind of a multifaceted conversation, and it's actually the more complex of the two, because on one hand, like, people have been linking to the idea of, well, it's a violation of the First Amendment, but, like, on the other hand, like because they're a government organization, the armed forces in all capacities are government organizations. But on the other hand, like, you kind of have the right to, if somebody shows up in your house to start screaming about shit that you don't want to deal with, you do have the right to be like, hey, fuck off.
knock that shit off. Exactly.
Right. So it's a very complicated conversation, because on one hand, like, we as a society have more or less come to understand that, yes, the armed forces has committed war atrocities in some form or another, be it, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force. There are events that have occurred that, have their own Wikipedia pages dedicated to them. Fine, we get that. I understand the complaints that people are making vis-a-vis, it's a First Amendment violation because they're government organizations, but, like, they're still on Twitch, like, regardless of the fact that this is a like, if fucking Joe Biden was streaming and somebody started, like, linking shit that he didn't want in his Twitch chat, doesn't matter that he's a government representative. He's even if he's streaming as a government representative, the service that's being used is a private service. You can still say, look, that isn't relevant to the conversation that we're having here. You're fucking concern trolling. Go away. Exactly. And I think that's the major argument that people are having with Navy, in addition to Army. And as much as people dislike it, and, like, I want to be clear, I'm basically about as socialist as a human being as you can get, so I'm not necessarily an armed forces type supporter sort of thing. But I think it's completely reasonable for them to ban people who say, like, they just show up to just put the comment into the chat of the Wikipedia link to, armed forces war crimes. It's basically sea lioning. You're being a dick. Like, it's that's shit. I don't think that doing like that, that's just harassment, and they're completely within their rights.
And on top
to
of that, of course, I mean, these are soldiers who are instructed on how to, conduct themselves on a professional level. And
yeah, about that.
They're in a public forum, so they have to be instructed on how to react to a situation like this. You got people coming in and linking to like Wikipedia and stuff like that for war crimes and whatnot.
Right.
They have to be told, okay, if this situation arises, you will probably have to do this and that. Don't answer this. Don't answer that.
But you don't. But then you don't preclude that by having the exact same streamer basically say, I'm just going to say ooh-woo from now on and be a big flex about it, and then ban people on that same sort of, like, common, denominator. Like, that's not how they want you to be as a streamer, obviously, but then they continue to be, big dick Chad energy the entire time they're on the stream as they ban people.
Yeah, like that's my thing in specific. Like, I haven't seen very much about the Navy's particular, streaming stuff in any capacity. So outside of that one topic of conversation, like they're completely out of the scope of this conversation.
Right.
I think the Army stuff. Oh my fucking god! The Army esports is fucking embarrassing.
Oh yeah. So the one thing that I saw of the Navy, just to sort of tie that back in. There's a Twitch clip of a person who went in and asked a question, and it was very polite. It wasn't like, haha, war crimes are bad, and like just spamming links and shit. No, he was having a very valid and very intelligent conversation on the topic. And as the person who was typing in the chat was attempting to create a secondary point, which I will admit was egging the streamer on and was a bit confrontational in terms of exactly what he was saying. As he was typing it out, it legitimately says in the text, so I can put you on record and quote you as saying, that you're ignoring the comments about PTSD and war crimes, and then as he was typing it, he got banned. So like, and again, this is on the Navy Esports Twitch channel.
Sure, but again, that's...
Again, he was kind of egging the guy on.
Right, but the thing is that the streamer, as a baseline, didn't acknowledge him. He allowed his moderators to handle the ban. He allowed those who were in charge of the channel to handle the actual issue. That, to me, simply does not speak, oh, well, that's First Amendment, yada, 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 because it really isn't. It's like, you walk into, like, some other people in the chat were saying, it's like going into a recruitment office and trying to start shit. They're going to walk your ass out of there, like, period. You're not going to be around there very long.
It's like if I go into a fucking comedy club and I start heckling the person doing the comedy.
Exactly.
I mean, fuck you. This person is here doing a job. They're performing. Like, we wouldn't stand for that sort of thing if somebody was coming into our chat and behaving like shit. You don't have to like the armed forces to acknowledge that that's the way that is. Like, that still people are being a douche. And, like, I know people personally who are like, haha, this is funny, and it's like, no. Like, I don't like the idea of different rules for me than for thee. Like, they're completely within their rights to kick these people out. Again, like, the Army stuff, though, it's just fucking embarrassing. Like, it's like the fucking ooh-woo shit between them and Discord is just like, shut the fuck up. What are you doing? But also, the get a chance to win a free Elite controller and you click on it and it's a recruitment thing.
Yeah, see, that's a tactic that the Army's been using for years too, but not even before the esports team. Army coming up with like almost weird schemes to like recruit people, like everything from like, oh hey, join the Army, we'll pay for your college entirely, when it's almost akin to like working at McDonald's and they'll pay your tuition based on how good your grades are, type of thing. So
well, it's more along the lines of like, hey, we'll pay for college. Oh, by the way, haha, I meant community college.
Oh, hey, no, one of these accredited colleges that can work overseas, depending on where we ship you off to.
Yeah, it's all online. It's all international. It's not what you think it is. I know. Trust me. Yeah. I've been through that whole spiel. But, like, the baseline, though, like, to sort of cap off, like, we all know that the Navy stuff that happened wasn't, like, super out there. Like, it wasn't bad.
No, it was just a guy making sure that he was just controlling the conduct of what was going on in his stream chat. to a degree. Silence.
Kind of. I look at it this way. So, like, the Navy stuff was just real basic. It happened, and people are they're blowing that whole section of it out of proportion. I honestly feel like what they did with the Navy esports was legitimately fine. Like, that wasn't a problem. Now, on the other hand, what the Army guys were doing was just god fucking awful bad. Like, again, I still don't believe that it is in any capacity, a blockage of First Amendment rights, because that is every streamer's right as part of what Twitch allows you to do, or any streaming platform for that matter, allows you to do, which is block that content or block that person from your channel. That is well within the rights of the streamer and the moderation team within that channel. Mm-hmm. So in doing what they did to these people who were rolling in like, what's your favorite war crime? Like, that's like going in to a just chatting stream for a titty streamer and being like, you have fat boobs, you're an ugly bitch, nobody really likes you, and getting banned. It's
or
pretty
like,
much
as another perfect example, I was hanging out with my friend Sodomi during his stream a couple of days ago, and somebody came in and like started, insulting him, calling him, like telling him he looked like Tupac Shakur, telling him, hey, you want to sub from me, slap your bald head. And it's like, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my house.
Exactly.
Like it's like CM Punk basically said, people act like it's like a free speech thing, and no, it's like my fucking window in my house. And if you lean into my fucking window in my house and start screaming shit at me, I'm gonna close the fucking window. I'm gonna fucking close the window.
Exactly.
I mean, like punching them is implied, but you can't punch people on social media or on Twitch.
Oh yeah,
as much as we want to, probably.
Yeah, but like, you're gonna fucking close the window. Like I'm not gonna fucking let you come up and fucking start screaming into my house just because you think you have something relevant to say. Especially not when it's just like you going like pee pee poo poo fart. Like, fuck you. You have nothing of value to contribute to this conversation. Get the fuck out.
Of all the things you say, Mark, you say pee pee poo poo fart. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's like the equivalent of the joke that I can tell. Yeah. You came in and made the lowest joke. Like, you reached for the lowest hanging fruit and made a bad joke.
Okay. It's you are fucking so embarrassing. You don't even get like a proper joke. It's just pee pee poo poo fart. That's what's fucking coming out of these people's mouths at this point. That's how I perceive this. But yeah, so it's like, that having been said, like, the Army stuff, as we said, is just incredibly embarrassing. I don't understand, and it's bad when Twitch had to fucking intervene in the process.
Oh yeah,
like
Twitch
does not intervene in most cases unless they absolutely have to, because Amazon is a business. They're not going to get into that shit unless they absolutely have to. So if Twitch is directly coming in and saying you can't link to a recruitment page and pretend it's
for
a giveaway or prizes or all kinds of crazy stuff, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's like you can't pee on people's heads and tell them it's raining. Armed forces, get the fuck out of here. Like, if Twitch has to step in and do that, goddamn, you are embarrassing at that point.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
So, the thing that I find really interesting about the whole concept, and this comes from now. Please keep in mind that the article I'm currently reading from comes from the Washington Post, who we all know who owns that avenue of article writing.
Which rich asshole owns the Washington Post? Jeff Bezos?
Bezos, who owns Amazon, who owns Twitch.
Right.
Here's the baseline of the story, though, and this is kind of the TLDR, but the baseline is that there are some legal experts who state that banning the people from that channel is a First Amendment violation, that it is unconstitutional to do so. And the reason why they're saying that is because it is a government entity blocking people from a public forum. So, again, that's a real slippery slope, honestly, when it really comes to kind of how that's being functionally created. However, when you have people going in to say, hey, what's your favorite war crime, and then linking Wikipedia articles to war crimes, And then you have a streamer who retorts with, you little internet keyboard monsters, I won't stand for that, I'm bigger than you. And then as the people get banned, he says, have a nice time getting banned, my dude. The attitude of the streamer is obviously not forthcoming of what you would normally see in other situations when it comes to like a normal just chatting stream. Let's be completely honest here. Sometimes it's just a persona, but it makes not only the person look bad, but it also makes the entity that they're associated look bad as well, because they are engaging in like the counter trolling and the baseline of what it is that's going on. So now obviously the Army esports team stated they do not regulate the viewpoints of participants in its social media forums. The Army may have the Army may reasonably regulate the time, place, and manner of discussions on its recruiting social media sites. Army esports social media sites are non-political forums for sharing information about joining the Army, except for the fact that they basically said that, hey, you know what, we're gonna do this really cool giveaway for this really expensive controller. Like, you know, we're talking like a $90-$100 like game controller. But when you click the link to try to sign up for this controller that they're quote unquote giving away for free, it's a recruitment page. So people are going through signing up thinking, oh, if I sign up for this, then I get my name put in the drawing for the controller, when in reality, there was no controller, there was no giveaway, and at that point, you've just been put into a database to be recruited into the United States Army. So this becomes a bit of an issue twofold. One, you're not transparent with what you're actually doing, which does go against the TOS of Twitch. And two, there are international people watching this channel who may very well think that because it's a giveaway for a controller, they're gamers. It doesn't matter if they're in the States or not. They're probably still watching because they heard from somebody else, hey, they're giving away a controller. Like, it's a really good controller. And all of a sudden, people from outside of the United States are starting to try to sign up for this. And now all of a sudden, you have this weird international database of people that weren't actually in the United States signing up to be part of the United States military, but they can't. So again, Twitch basically put the law down and said, hey, you know what? You guys really need to not do this, because A, you've got international viewers because we are an international platform. B, you have zero transparency on what's actually going on here. And all of a sudden you've got all of these people like there's no way of being able to really understand what's going on. And C, having you guys be a part of, you know, a government entity on a public forum, while you are reserved in the ability to refuse the ability for people to chat within your rooms, please make sure that you're doing so under a pretense that makes more sense versus whether or not you guys are actually trying to stem the tide of people who are trolling, or you guys are actually trying to create sort of like a false narrative as far as why you guys are doing what you're doing here. Up to this point, since this has come to light over the last couple of days, the team that's associated with that channel has not streamed. The U.S. Army esports team has stated that they are currently going to look at the issues as what is currently prevalent within what has been happening, so that they can reassess what they say can and cannot be spoken to, what is and isn't actually going to be offered, and if any links exist, that they are more transparent about what those links are for, including the obvious, which we all know is recruitment. The final point that's made in the article is that they basically state that if they know that lack of transparency existed in the first place, why did they allow it to continue for as long as they did? And to that credit, now that there are actual lawyers involved with this, which is really funny because there are actual like court rulings that are relevant to this issue, basically stating that it is a First Amendment breach. There's a group known as the Knight First Amendment Institute, which did argue in court that you cannot block individual users on Twitter in relation to President Trump, because it was a government-led banishment on a public forum. the appeals court did in fact uphold that ruling. So there is a distinct possibility that if somebody decided to actually take legal action, they would have a precedent. So it's really weird. And to Gon's credit, I was actually just about to mention that the U.S. Army has already had a recruitment tool in an FPS game called America's Army for years. And so this is not the first time they've tried to use gaming as a baseline for recruitment with it into the actual U.S. Army. The problem really draws a line, though, that it's not just a matter of the fact that they're trying to recruit through it, because we all knew, like, they were transparent about the release of America's Army, stating that if you were, if you scored high enough, you'd probably get like reached out to electronically about recruitment into the the Army, be like, hey, we'd really like to talk to you more about actually joining the Army, yada yada yada. That wasn't the case for what they were doing this time. Had it been more transparent and more prevalent as to why they were doing it, I don't think this would have gotten as blown out of proportion as it did. But I really feel like that lack of transparency and that lack of like, hey, this is actually what we're doing, and not actually giving it away, or we're not actually like doing giveaways or like raffles or prizes, and we just need your info kind of thing. It was, oh no, we're actually recruiting you. Like, there would have been a far less blowout of this, and I think it would have been a completely different story at this point.
The thing I find interesting is that we're talking about this now, because it just seems that every now and then the Army, as technology and society moves forward, they seem to find new tactics, whatever the latest fad is, and they try to hunker down on it. And with Twitch gaming, starting, well, Twitch and Justin TV and all live streaming starting a little over 10 years ago, you'd think we would be talking about this 5 years ago, to be truthfully honest. So I find it weird that they're so late into the game. Maybe it's because, esports wasn't as established back then, and they didn't have an Army esports team back then, so maybe that kind of helps them out. But it's a shitty tactic, to be truthfully honest. I'm not a fan of recruitment tactics that really just, again, no transparency whatsoever. Before we end the topic and move on for the night, though, I want to get your thoughts on this, Spence.
I mean, you guys kind of nailed a lot of it, and one thing that Jan brought up that was interesting to me was talking about how the president can't block people on Twitter because then they can't see what he's saying. If you're banned from a Twitch chat, you can still see and hear the stream. You just can't say anything.
You can't read the chat at all. Like if you're timed out, you can still read the chat. But if you are banned, you can only see a message on Twitch that says you've been banned from this chat. And the only way to be unbanned and be able to read anything is if you are unbanned by a moderator or the channel. And to that credit, that would still mean that while you can still watch and hear the streamer, you cannot see what is in the chat. So that, I think, is where the whole legal precedence of why they're trying to say it's a block to First Amendment rights at that point would be like, if that's the case, then literally blocking anybody at any point in time on Twitch would also be a blockage of First Amendment rights. And if someone was really hardy enough to actually want to do that, they could. And while that is super ludicrous and absolutely idiotic, here we are.
Right. I didn't actually know you couldn't see chat if you were banned. I've never been banned because I'm not a jackass.
I've actually been banned, but I have seen. I don't know why I was banned. I'm actually friends with. Friends with this person, Cat Gunn, in real life. Like, she's come to my FGC tournaments, and then one day I decided to hop on and say, hey, how you doing, on one of her streams, and it just said, oh, you've been banned from chat. I'm like, you cannot talk, you're banned from chat. I'm like, what? I mean, I was able to contact them via DM. Yeah, Mark, go ahead, ban them and see how that works.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No.
I mean, that's what you don't do. That's fine. I believe you.
But yeah, like,
but I mean, it's obviously
a
a super shitty situation, and like Mark said, if Twitch had to step in and say no, you can't do that, you fucked up real bad, because Twitch does not want to get involved with this. They just want to ban people if they need to be banned. They want to be left alone, and they want to lay on their giant piles of money. So if they stepped in and said no, it's pretty bad.
Yep. Speaking of,
Yeah, I wonder if the reason though that it came up now, like why now we have like the Army and the Navy on Twitch so heavily, is because of COVID. Because normally they would just be, at high schools during graduation and be like, come join the Army instead of going straight to college.
oh yeah,
Or they would be at colleges saying like, hey, do you want to come join us as well? And, going all over the place physically to meet with people, or being in the mall, pestering people trying to do their job at the mall.
I actually went to a mall.
Experienced that a lot.
I actually went to a mall because I took the kids to Legoland, make them happy. And I saw a recruitment center, and the recruitment center was closed. So, yeah, I would see this as a tactic to try and, get your numbers up.
Yeah, and
Because
they went,
they
man,
can't
there's
go out."
probably a lot of people on there right now. There's more people on Twitch than there were before COVID because you can't go do anything. You're stuck at home. You might as well do something.
To the credit of the article that I read on the Washington Post anyway, they were basically stating that over the last, 3 months, they've seen somewhere around 5 billion views, which, if you look at, the actual baseline, Netflix, and we're talking about, total hours of viewing, about 5 billion total hours of viewing across multiple users. Netflix, on a baseline, has seen 6.1 across the same amount of time. So the spike in viewership makes a lot of sense, because I would agree that, yes, COVID probably does have something to do with the increased presence of the armed forces and the military online and in places like Twitch and YouTube.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we head out, Mark?
No, I kind of want to stop talking about this because it's duty, and there's other better conversations.
Yes,
we
there
can be
are.
having.
Speaking of which, hopefully we'll have a lot of good things to talk about next show after this Thursday, which is the Xbox Showcase from Microsoft. And it looks like Jeff Keighley is going to be on hands for this, so I'm definitely going to check this out when I get a chance. But, so, we're going to do a little speculation. We're not going to talk Halo because, yes, they've said that's going to be making a debut. So don't stop talking about Halo, people. It's coming. Just chill the fuck out. And then we're going to talk... Well, let's see. For speculation, I think we're going to finally see... And I don't know why it's taken them this long. More gameplay footage of the upcoming Battletoads game. I think they revealed it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, and it looks like trash then. It's probably still going to look like trash now.
Yeah, so we'll probably see more gameplay footage of that. That's my guess. Hopefully it's in better shape than it was then, because, yikes, it looked like a Flash game. And let's be honest, Behemoth Games has made better-looking Flash games than them. I mean, Alien Hominid, anybody? Where's Alien Hominid 2? I want that now. I'm definitely expecting at least 5 exclusives to be unveiled. I'm not exactly sure, but I think Ninja Theory might be showing off something. It would be nice.
I would think Ninja Theory, if they're showing anything, it's going to be more of Hellblade.
Yeah.
Because
Like
Senua's Saga
gameplay.
is looking like a launch title to me, because that was the first thing they showed. The last time they showed anything at all. They opened with that because I almost cried. Because I love that game so much. I was losing my mind.
So I'm definitely thinking that they will do a gameplay footage instead of, And they said they when we watched the trailer last year, they said everything was in-engine. So, and again, you have to take that with a grain of salt because, hey, remember the PS3? Hey, look at all this in-engine footage for their announcement trailer of their games. So, you never know. Let's go around the room and get your ideas for speculation. We'll start with you, Spencer.
Well, I think they're going to show more Hellblade, like I said, and maybe something from the other project that Ninja Theory is working on. I don't remember what its project name is right now off the top of my head, but I know that they have something else that they're working on that is supposed to be bigger than just than one game. I mean, I'm gonna assume probably something from Forza. Like, it's an Xbox event. The new Xbox is coming out. They're gonna show their pretty car game like they always do. I mean, which is cool. They're good and fun games, and they're really well made. So
Yeah.
it would
yeah,
make a
for
lot
sure.
of sense. I don't know. Probably. Do you think we'll see more of the flight sim? Because that
Probably.
just has kind of been
Well-
ramping up. They're putting out
Flight Sim 10,
the-
right? Or Flight Sim X? Is that what it's called? I
I
forget.
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you buy it on like a physical copy of it, this might just be on PC. It's like 10 discs. I have no idea why, because apparently the game's not that big, but interesting. And then I've been seeing a lot of rumblings about some more Fable.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors about a new
Mhm.
Fable, and I would be excited about that as long as it's Lionhead, not. Well, then again, Lionhead did fuck
doesn't
up the last
exist
game.
anymore.
Did
Yeah,
they
they
really
haven't
get
existed for a
dismantled? I
long
thought that
time.
was just a rumor. I didn't follow through on that. I just thought it was a rumor. Lionhead did get dismantled.
As far as I'm aware,
Oh, damn!
I think
Then
they
who's,
did.
Who's gonna? I gotta look that up. But that's kind of shocking. Lionhead Studios getting taken down
Ceased operations April 29th, 2016.
Yeah,
4 years
it's been
ago.
a while.
Wow.
Yep, so it's been a while.
Mhm.
yeah, and I think from Microsoft's perspective in particular, that kind of has to tell you exactly where Lionhead Studios was as an entity, because like they still keep fucking Rare around, and Rare is doing jack shit basically
Mhm.
I
at
mean,
this
yeah.
point.
It's like once Peter Molyneux left, like they seemed like Lionhead Studio was disposable. I mean, they had some
Well,
good games.
I don't even think it's a matter of them being disposable necessarily. Like I think, I don't want to give Microsoft more credit than they deserve here. Let's be clear, but I think Microsoft is definitely the sort of company that, like, contrary to what everybody else has sort of done, is willing to say, we'll keep you around doing whatever the fuck you need to do, so long as you are like you have some type of value, as like so long as you are showing that you're making something. And I think
outside of
with Lionhead, it was they were working on that Fable.
that
I don't wanna
Connect
say it was
game.
a MOBA, but it was kind of a MOBA.
Oh, really? There's a
Yeah.
mobile game. Last I heard of
Yeah.
the Fable was that they had a canceled Connect game.
Yeah,
Wasn't-
and then they had some
Wasn't
kind
the
of
other one they were working on like a Diablo-esque game? Like you played like as 4 people, you just kind of like
Well, they
dungeon
released.
crawled.
They
it was
have Minecraft
overhead.
Dungeons that just came out, but that's
No, this was the Fable game.
right.
Yeah, it was Fable based.
It was like this weird MOBA type deal, but it also had like elements of Diablo. And they were working on that, and it was like free on their service for like a year and a half, 2 years, while they were working out the kinks. And finally, Microsoft was just like, "Look, this is not going anywhere. Get the fuck out." But like they still keep Rare around, and what the fuck has Rare done? You know what I'm saying?
Rare has done some stuff, but
Yeah, okay, here it is.
They
Fable
released a compilation
Legend.
of all their
Oh,
old
yeah, it was
shit.
Legends, yeah.
Yeah, Fable the Journey was the Connect game where you basically just rode behind your horse and just
Yeah.
like made a whipping motion all the time. Like that's all it did.
It was awful.
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, the one you were thinking of was Fable Legends, which was
Yeah.
the 4-player...
Cooperative action
co-op.
role-playing video game developed by Lionhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, like
Hero
Rare is
Rotation.
responsible for Killer Instinct, which Microsoft doesn't even need Rare for that because they own the fucking franchise at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Rare Replay, which was just a compilation of a bunch of their stuff, and then finally Sea of Thieves in 2018. A game so great it took them 2 years to get to a point where people don't hate the shit out of it.
Right.
I wonder
I
if
mean,
we'll see.
with
We'll
some
probably
MMOs,
see something
yeah,
for
people
that.
have been like taking a while to fix their games after the release. I mean, look at Oblivion. Elder Scrolls Online, and look at Final Fantasy 14.
The
Yeah.
development of an MMO is not the same idea as a development of what something like you would see for like an actual console, or something that you would see as what would be construed as a single player experience. I feel like the concept of a single player game, or a game that's built for quote unquote single player, that can allow for things like online co-op or online multiplayer that allows you to continue to play through the actual story, in the vein of games like, say for instance, Diablo, or like a MOBA, that's where a lot of people have the argument of you should finish your game before you release it, versus the concept of what an MMO can actually do, or how an MMO can grow or be fixed over time because that's the nature of what an MMO is. It's built to start off at a point and then have things built on top of it over the years.
Mhm.
Yes, but being released with
so-
crappy gameplay and controls and shitloads of bugs, that's something that should be ironed out before release, and some MMOs have been coming out like that a lot lately.
Hi. Anybody remember Anarchy Online? That was an MMO, and that had probably one of the worst receptive launches of any MMO outside of maybe The Matrix Returns. They touted an online, sci-fi universe that allowed you to have your own housing and all of these other things. And the very first day that it had launched, you tried to go in and get your own player housing, and you would get stuck in the player housing so hard that you couldn't even have a GM teleport you out, and you would have to actually delete your fucking character and start over from scratch just to be able to play the game.
Yep.
So
Yikes.
yeah, it can happen, but that could technically be said for any game regardless of the genre. That isn't just exclusively an MMO issue.
We were talking about Sea of Thieves, which is more of an MMO game anyway. But to continue
It's more
on
of
with
a
the Microsoft
sandbox,
conversation, though.
But yeah.
But to continue with the Microsoft speculation, is that all you had there, Spencer? Was there anything else you were hoping to see?
I mean, I think we'll probably see a few new IPs because Microsoft owns so many studios at this point.
Right.
I hope we'll see more of some actual gameplay of one of the vampire games, because all we've seen is a couple trailers that really tell us nothing about the game. And since they've all kind of been around Xbox, it would make sense to see them there. And I don't know if we'll see anything from it. I don't honestly care if we see anything from it at this point, but maybe some other crap from Cyberpunk.
It's always a possibility. I mean, people need more Keanu Reeves in their life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but CD Projekt Red isn't first party. This is all first party.
Hey!
Is it exclusively a first-party thing?
My understanding was that the Xbox Game Showcase was supposed to be first party, which
Thanks
is
for the
why
follow.
it's being hosted, why it's basically being started off with Halo Infinite. Like, they're saying that it's a capstone for Microsoft first party. So I was under that
I didn't realize. Okay, well, maybe not then.
Maybe
Thank
I'm
you,
wrong.
Blaze.
Maybe
Thanks
I'm
for the
wrong.
raid.
If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But my understanding is that this was supposed to be about Xbox Game Studios, the Xbox Game Showcase, which is why they waited as long as they did to do Halo Infinite, because it was supposed to be first party. Now, if that's changed, then there is other games that I personally think would actually be a part of that. But on a baseline, we know that right now we're probably going to hear something about. We're probably going to hear more about Halo Infinite because that's the capstone. We're starting off with it anyway. The next step we're probably going to see is we're probably going to see more stuff about Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, something from Obsidian, of Outer Worlds fame. We'll probably hear something from. We'll probably get another big update from Mojang about Minecraft, since we just saw a new release recently for that stuff. I'm under the impression that we'll probably see some Psychonauts 2 stuff from Double Fine. We'll probably hear some stuff from maybe Turn 10, because that's Forza. We might even hear something from Undead Labs. Who knows? Maybe they finally got off their asses and finally decided to fix the bug-ridden bullshit that was the original idea for the new State of Decay game.
Yeah. Fuck State of Decay.
Yeah, I know. But on a baseline, the other kind of, there's a couple of other games that I would also like to sort of just point at. Obviously, if it isn't just first party, then yes, we're probably going to see more stuff about Cyberpunk, knowing that it got pushed back to November. We're going to see EA tout off whatever it is that EA touts off. Probably Madden, probably FIFA. One of the games that I would really like to see more about and would really like to get a chance to actually finally get my hands on is an RPG called Chris Tales. the concept is basically it's quote unquote it's described as a love letter to classic JRPGs. It's a 2D adventure RPG that allows you to basically like time travel as you go through certain aspects of the game, either to the past, stay in the present, or go to the future, to allow you to make choices and interact with the world in different states, which I think is actually a really unique idea for like a JRPG style game. I'd also probably we might see some more stuff if they didn't already show everything we wanted to show off during the state of play. They may show some additional Pragmata stuff. It's hard to say like everything that we're probably going to see. We're probably going to see some additional stuff on Overcooked All You Can Eat, just since they just announced that.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
We maybe will be lucky enough to get some additional details on Scorn. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Like if it isn't just first party, there's a ton of stuff that we would probably finally get a chance to actually see stuff on. I'd love to see some more information on Scarlet Nexus personally, because that's like my thing. But
Okay. How about you, Mark? What are you hoping to see, and what do you think will be shown?
I'm desperately hoping to see stuff from the like 7 or 8 different companies that Microsoft has bought in the past 2 years.
mm-hmm.
Like, I know we're going to see some more Halo, and we're probably going to see some stuff that, you know, everybody expects to see. We're probably going to see content from Sea of Thieves. We're probably going to see content from Forza, etc. You know, like stuff that is a big deal. I think we really need to see something from the companies that Microsoft has picked up, just to, you know, give us an indication that like there's something going on, that there's a there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just as an example, I really think that we need to see something from like Compulsion Games. You know, like the folks that did We Happy Few. Because, like, you know, they've kind of been bleh at this point, and I very much think that they need to kind of have something to show, because, you know, Contrast was okay. We Happy Few was an interesting tech demo, but mechanically kind of not great. But I desperately think that that developer has something to say and has something to show off, and with like Microsoft behind them, instead of having to worry about Kickstarter funds, I think they can do a really good job. But they were bought like 2 years ago, and we haven't seen anything from them as of yet. Compulsion.
Compulsion. Right.
Yes. I think they probably need to show us something. Will they? I don't know. I would like to see the rumors be correct, and that there be some type of an address of a Halo game coming. I'm not sure who I would want to see dealing with it, because like there's a very strong case to see Obsidian making another Halo. There's a very strong case to see Exile making another Halo, because both of those companies are like great third-person RPG
So you're
developers.
saying not just one, but 2 Halo games might be unveiled?
Or not Halo, Fable.
Fable.
Like,
okay.
I was getting really confused for a second. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. And
I could.
I'm pretty deep in the games.
From the Halo. I mean, I could see something from the Halo franchise from one of those 2 studios too.
Maybe another Halo RTS, but we have to see.
No, make it an actual RPG. Fuck Halo Wars. Sorry.
I doubt we would. I doubt we would see that right now, because the Halo community is
they're chomping at the bit,
broken right now. Yeah.
They're dying for anything involving their new Halo Infinite.
This would basically be an issue with like where Blizzard basically said we're not making Diablo 4, but here's Diablo Immortal on mobile phones. That would basically, but with this,
everybody has phones, right?
Yeah,
you guys have
and
phones,
like
right?
I could see them making like similar to like Gears Pop, like a little Halo mobile game, but it would be. I don't think now is the time to announce that, because it's been 5 years since we've had a Halo title. That title did not go over super well with anyone. The story was not done well. That like the lore side of the Halo community hated that.
Don't spoil it
The
for me
professional
yet.
side of it hated like the multiplayer. There's a lot of problems with the competitive multiplayer, and that has just left like a terrible taste in everyone's mouth. And then you've had a little bit of revival with like the MCC coming to PC, and even then a lot of people are looking at it and are kind of like, okay, cool, I've played this before. I'll play it until the new one comes out. Can I just have the new one already? So I think to do anything other than just say, here is the next core Halo title would be the secondary title would not be taken well, even if it's a great game. So. It would just be bad timing for it. Even if like an open world RPG or like MMO or something could be amazing in that universe. It would be amazing in that universe, but coming out right now when we don't even have a good like core title would be a little bit of a shit show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. And two Fishhook's credits. Right now, the team within Microsoft Game Studios that's currently touted as currently developing a quote-unquote unannounced RPG game is Playground Games. So if anybody's going to be doing Fable, it'd probably be Playground, though there is also the idea that they may also have the rights to Amalur.
Yeah, I'm going to be 100% honest. Playground Games is a perfectly fine developer as far as it goes to the Forza Horizon series. If you handed off Fable to a company who up until this point has only made racing games, I am super not excited about that. like here's the thing. They're a great developer. They've made great games that I have never played and I don't give a fuck about. I don't know what they could do with that kind of game. I would love to see them do something with it. Please don't give them Fable, because Fable has been dead as shit since Fable 3 was terrible. The last thing we need is for Fable to die in the womb on a new developed property by this company if it's not good. And I'm not like, it's not even a question of whether or not it is or it isn't. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you want to make a good Fable game, you need to make a good first impression with bringing Fable back. Hand it to a company who makes these kinds of games. You know, In Exile has made, Hunted the Demon's Forge. They've made the Wasteland games, etc. They could definitely make that kind of game.
And another good example, you got the team that's behind the Divinity Original Sin series. They are getting Baldur's Gate 3. So you got people who have been making these games, and they've been making good games, and now they're getting probably one of the biggest titles probably coming out in the next year.
If you want to revive a franchise that has been dead for a period of time, the best thing you can do is hand it to trusted developers who can make it into what it should be. Shade on Playground Games, they're a great developer. I don't know what they're going to do with this kind of game, and I don't want us to discover the answer to that science experiment question in a Fable game if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's move on to a big question. We're probably going the answer is most likely going to be no. Actually, it's going to be a couple questions. Do you think they're going to reveal the prices for the S or the X?
Have they revealed the prices for the Sonys yet? I don't remember.
No. And everyone thinks that they're going to not reveal the prices until the last minute because apparently Sony and Microsoft want to try and undercut each other, heavily.
Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. Yes.
Even though I've been reading, the thing I've been reading about is apparently in regards to the Microsoft Series S. From what people are saying, with how cheaply made it is and the fact that it's all digital, they're saying that they can bring that price down so low that Sony will never be able to undercut it with their with either model of the PS5, especially their all digital one. So I'm curious, really, about them possibly unveiling it at the showcase, like in spec wise. You don't think they're going to do that?
No, this is a games This is all about games. They've stated already that this was about the games and that it's only going to be about the games. There is maybe a reveal of what the S looks like, but the baseline is this is about the games. It is a games showcase. There won't be any prices, probably not any additional hardware, and if there was, they would be really dumb to do it. Because at that point, Sony basically just gets to sit back and wait and go, haha, we fucking got your ass. And they can basically go, guess what? Everything's $2.99, $3.99, or $3.99, $4.99 because the Xbox is $4.99, $5.99. You can go fuck yourselves in the butt. And now everyone's like, oh, Sony did it again. It's a better console year for the PlayStation. Beebity boop boop. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I look at the games lineup that they've already sort of touted of what's technically been announced for the Series X, and I'm like, I could seriously see myself playing some of these games more so than just one or two things. Like the Xbox One X and the Xbox One X, Pro or whatever the Slim
Series
or
X
whatever.
and Series S.
No, previous console generation.
Oh, previous console. Okay.
No, the One X, One X.
The one that
One
just got
S.
discontinued, right?
Yes, exactly what I was
The
just about to
digital
say.
only models.
No, all of them. Everything. All of them. Even the disc versions. They're all discontinued now. They don't make them anymore. In light of the fact that the Series X is coming out soon, quote unquote, they have discontinued creation of any new systems. Any systems that are currently available or what is available. Exactly. But the baseline is like I'm looking at some of these games and I'm like, well, some of these games are coming out on PC. I don't care about them. So Cyberpunk, Chris Tales, RE8 is also going to be on PS4. Pragmata is going to be on PS5. Hitman is going to be on PC, PS5. Like a Dragon is going to be on PS4, PS5, PC. Like, I'm not worried about a lot of these games. But it's the exclusives. It's the games that we saw during the third-party trailer video that they released. So, Bright Memory Infinite, Chorus, Ascent, Scarlet Nexus. There's a couple of others that I'm not entirely positive whether they were confirmed for a PC release or not. Those are the kind of games that I'm looking at and going, okay, I could see myself probably thinking about legitimately getting a Series X, purely because there's a lot of games on that system that aren't confirmed for other consoles or are touted as exclusives for the system. I've always touted that if you're going to play the games, you buy the systems to play those games on it. And if I'm going to look at what I'm doing and I'm looking at what I've got and I'm like, while Halo is nice, and I'm glad for the Halo fans, it's not just like I stopped after 3. I didn't play 4 or 5 because I really didn't care. For those who are into or are okay or can handle games like Hellblade, congratulations. That game looks fucking sick. I'm glad you guys are getting a sequel. You guys actually are going to enjoy that, I'm sure. It's not for me. Scorn looks to be exclusive. There is no other system that has currently, announced whether or not it's going to be on PC. Obviously, it could simply because it's, a Microsoft title. But the baseline is that
Got something in your eye, Jan?
No, it's just because my head tweaks out. It's purely just because my camera's fucked up. But anyway, that and I'm trying to read because I don't have glasses on. But I mean, outside of that, a large majority of the games are multi-console. So again, we swing back to Microsoft has still basically stated that if it's first party, you're playing it on the console. If it's third party, you're playing it on whatever the fuck you want to, and it probably has cross-play if it's got multiplayer. Which, again, that really touts back to the concept of it's about the games for them, and they're finally getting that shit through their head where they finally realize that it's about the games and not about the console. Whether or not Sony will follow suit, whether or not the PC games of themselves will actually be cross-platform the way we all want them to be, it's really hard to say. But at a baseline, I really feel like there's not enough first party to fill a 60 game demo release period time frame for what they're actually saying, because they're saying that there is going to be 60 games available after the video goes live, all demoable, all playable, all ready for people to get their hands on, because A, we don't have an E3, or B, we don't have a TGS for them to actually get these games into people's hands on a show floor. So they're giving everybody the chance to actually download these and play them as they want to. So it's going to be really interesting to see like where they're going with a lot of this stuff, to try to figure out like, are some of these games actually going to be enough of a pull for people to actually care? And that's what this is all about. They have to be able to pull people in with games that are, you know, worth people's time.
Exclusives that'll get people to draw them in, right?
So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned like a lot of the exclusives and stuff being only on the console. Do you think they're just gonna kill Play Anywhere?
I don't believe
Like,
so.
No, but apparently
getting
they're
rid of
doing
that
something
this year?
in regards to Xbox Live.
So
they're getting rid of
They
gold.
got rid of
They got rid of gold.
So that goes into my thought process of what I think will be how they want to do their pricing structure. So they got rid of, you cannot buy a year of Xbox Live Gold anymore.
Right.
Which for them makes so much sense, because you bought it for $60, and if you didn't, it was like $10 a month. So you were paying half price if you bought a year of it up front. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. Also, they have Game Pass Ultimate. I mean, if you're paying for Xbox Live, why are you not just getting Game Pass? It's $5, which, yes, $5 is not no money, but I mean,
well, that's different
if you're
so
paying monthly.
Here's the thing. If you're paying monthly for Ultimate, which is both across both PC and Xbox, it's $15.
If you're just getting it on Xbox, it's $10, right?
Right. But
so I
if you
mean,
get the Xbox and the PC version, it's $15 a month. It gives you gold, and it gives you access to all of the Games Pass games across both systems for both PC and console. Plus, it gives you the online capabilities for multiplayer of having Xbox Live Gold that you would normally have included in the cost. I feel like the concept of getting rid of the 1 year pass makes sense, because they're going in the direction of everything is going to be tied to Games Pass, and everything is going to be tied to, if you have Ultimate, you'll also have access to xCloud. And I think that's the big reason for why they're doing this change, is because they're focusing on the console being the centerpiece again, like they did with Xbox One when they first announced it. But they're also taking the concept of cloud gaming, stream gaming, on-the-go gaming, but it's your console that's hosting all of the content. Because, as you know, if you own an Xbox One, or, well, in this case, an Xbox One X, or an Xbox Series X, or a Windows PC, any of the games you get that can be played on any of those other systems will be playable and downloadable on those systems, because you already own the copy of that game. Which, again, that touts the whole concept of what PC gaming has really always been about, which is you have access to your game wherever you go as long as you have that PC. This is the same concept. That's what xCloud is all about. And that, for me, I feel, and again, I'm probably in a relative minority on this, I feel is why they made the decision to do what they did, was because they're not interested in monetizing Xbox Live anymore. They're interested in monetizing the games as a playable resource now. And I feel like that's why they're doing what they're doing, and they're heading in that direction.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Game Pass is the future for them. Whether they maintain their own console, whether they stick exclusively to PC, regardless of what they do, the games are the service for them at this point.
Okay. Time to wind down on this topic. Any final thoughts? Anything else? Do you guys think there's going to be a release date reveal for all these launch games? Or launch release window games?
We're
if anything, that would probably be the only thing I could see. Yeah, they've said holiday, so I'm thinking November.
I think November for everything, and that's not just Microsoft. I think Sony's also going to tout a November date very soon.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like
classic
November is
release
the right
date
time
is
frame
usually
for
the
it.
first 2 to 3 weeks of November, just before the Black Friday sales.
Christmas shopping.
I see it being late November, and the reason why I say that is purely because of COVID. I don't feel like we're going to see an early release. I think like we're going to see something that's closer to the end of the year, and I feel like a big reason for that is because everyone right now in a baseline within corporate America that I'm aware of has stated August as a return to work date. This is because the end of July, most states will no longer be offering a bonus for return to work because of the CARES Act. So, August is the most likely date or month that people are looking to finally get back into actually functionally working a full 40 hours a week outside of what is still being currently classified as essential. So, gas stations, grocery stores, hospitals, things like that. August return, September, October, late November, people finally have money in their pocket because they're finally quote unquote caught up. Late November, early December release date for the consoles makes the most logical sense as far as when we'll actually see those things actually hitting. I want to say probably the week before Thanksgiving would make the most logical sense for them because that's when people will finally have quote unquote bonuses for coming back to work, hitting their bank accounts and things like that. But again, I'm probably wrong, but that's just my thought process on why I think that's going to end up being late November.
Okay. Well, so moving on now. So we had a lot of fun with the Xbox topic. Now we're going to have even more fun because we're going to be talking about those enjoyable little earworms, those songs, those soundtracks that just keep replaying in our heads, that just pop up constantly every now and then. Like I said earlier this day when I was at work, the theme song to Super Mario Bros. 2 just, popped into my head, and I was humming along to it. And that is probably, and it's not just, that song that pops up in my head. Like, there's so many other tunes, so many great iconic tunes that pop in, and I just feel like humming it out, or I feel like, getting a little nostalgic and popping in some classic games. It has a really big effect on me when it comes to these tunes. Now, I'm going to go back to the Mario 2 theme. The reason why this song is definitely stuck into my head is mainly because this song, or this track, was played outside of the game 2 a lot. In commercials, it was used primarily in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. That they relied heavily upon the Super Mario Bros. 2 video game in and of itself, minus, using Wart as the bad guy, replacing him with Koopa. So, and they played all the music from Super Mario Bros. 2 all the time, so I have a lot of those, tunes stuck in my head, constantly on repeat every now and then, and, it doesn't really bother me. Some of my other favorite theme songs, they come from, mostly RPGs, like the Lunar series. I really love, a lot of the music, character themes, like Dine's theme is great. I love, music from Final Fantasy VI, Shadow's theme pops up into my head a lot. Edward's theme, a lot of these people have, great, anything pretty much by Nobuo Uematsu usually gets stuck in my head, and he's just, really good at doing stuff like that. So we're going to go around the room, and I'm pretty sure everybody has now narrowed down, the thousands of tracks to, a few tracks.
God, I hope so.
So we'll come back to me, and I'll name some tracks of mine later, but let's start with you, Mark. What are some stuff that you get stuck in your head every now and then?
For more classic stuff, Burning Heat, obviously.
I love that fucking song so much.
Yeah. The Snatcher opening theme.
Ooh,
oh, yeah. I love that.
Several of the tracks from Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yes. Ken
and Guile's theme, especially. Guile's theme goes with everything, as we have established.
Yes, we have.
Oh, yeah. Just like the opening to the first season of Attack on Titan, but yeah,
Yeah.
about that.
mm,
We know your personal view on that show, though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the show, but that first season soundtrack is the best.
Godlike.
It is
Godlike.
fucking chef's kiss.
Yeah, dude.
There, I did it for you.
Yeah. So, what else do we got here?
Now what is it about some of these tracks that have gotten them stuck in your head? Exactly.
They're just fucking great. Like I mean, even talking about like more modern tracks. More modern track, like the first track that comes to my mind if I think of like modern music is fucking Rasheed's theme from Street Fighter V.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's really simple but effective composition that can be remixed a number of different ways, but instantly has like a beat to it that just makes you go, yes, this song 100%. Like I can still to this day remember, the intro, the stage 1 intro theme from Ikaruga. I can still remember.
Oh yes, that beautiful intro.
Yeah, Rasheed's theme pops up in my head all the time. Bloody Tears is.
Ooh, yeah.
And like for those who are unfortunately unfamiliar with these games, Burning Heat comes from Gradius. No.
Gradius 3.
Yeah.
Gradius 3.
By the way, guys, if you want, go ahead and feel free to post links in the chat for the viewers for these themes if you feel like it. Like you don't have to do it now, Mark, since you're talking.
Yeah, like when I'm done talking, I'm going to be fucking besieging the chat with links. But Bloody Tears, of course, is from Castlevania. That and the Belmont's theme, or no, not Belmont's theme. What is it? Vampire Hunter. Fucking another absolutely awesome track. Like it's just they have just amazing musical composition that whether you're listening to it in the MIDI format for those that exist in the MIDI format or today, they're just so good. Like they just strike that note emotionally that just like sticks with you forever. It's there's no easy way to qualify it, but they just have that fucking effect that you hear them. You just get chills listening to these great songs again.
Oh yeah. I think I have another track I would love for people to know about, and that is the main theme to Shenmue. Like just that title screen music with with it's not the violin. What's the instrument they use, Jan? Are you familiar with it? It's an old Japanese instrument. I can't remember the name of it.
Are you talking about the Kodo?
I think it's the Kodo. Yeah, it sounds like a violin.
Hold on, let me find it.
Let me just link it in there real quick. Maybe you'll be able to let me know.
Oh no, that is not a Kodo. That is something completely different. That's their something they actually use.
But yeah, that is a track that constantly gets stuck in my head that I really love. It's just such a beautiful piece, and it makes me very happy that I'm getting back into Shenmue again. Listening to that track is just great. So if you're done with that, Mark, we're gonna move on to Spencer now. Spencer, lay it on us, buddy.
I will try to keep mine to 4, and then I'm going to name an entire franchise of songs. So these aren't necessarily video game specific songs, but the Tony Hawk soundtrack is constantly running through.
Oh, of course. 1,000,000%
of all time. No one will ever top it.
But I want your girlfriend to be my girlfriend too.
Ugh, so good. So one throwback that is very interesting to me that this gets stuck in my head because it's not like I don't feel like it was a super popular game. Well, maybe it was, but it's not like I played it at home a lot. Is a song from the game Cruisin' USA. Anybody ever played Cruisin' USA?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the music though. It's because I played the Master System version.
So the movie theater that I went to as a kid had a Cruisin' USA in their arcade, and it was like the only game I played in their arcade because I loved it. And they have a song called Roadkill Jam that is just like a constant like guitar solo squealing, and it's just super catchy to me. And now our local bar arcade has one in it, and as soon as I play it, I switch the radio to that song every time. Still, like 20 years later, I don't care. I'll always do it.
Oh yeah, it's like Magical Sound Shower for or not Splash Wave for Outrun.
Yes.
It's just, there's just that song of, it doesn't matter what version of this game I'm playing, I'm going to listen to this song. Fuck you. This is
every time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Iru,
from
thank
more...
you very much. Thank you, Celadon.
Yeah, it's called an Erhu. Anyway, sorry.
You're good. From more recent games, if you can't tell if you're watching the video version behind me, I like Halo a lot. So the Finish the Fight song from Halo 3, just the beginning of it, like it's just piano and it's like the dun 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 dun, and it just like catches me every time because it's like the end of the campaign, and it's just like it just ramps up to so much excitement. And then the Doom 2016 soundtrack is one that runs through my head a lot, specifically Rip and Tear.
Yes.
Oh, Rip and Tear. Love that piece. I do love the remix they had for the first for that one as well, Doom 2016. The remake of the first track from Map 1-1.
It's all so good. Just like it kind of hits everything. Like it's pretty heavy and like metal sounding, but then you have like the really heavy, deep synth sounds throughout the whole thing, and whenever you start listening to it, like you can't help but like get kind of pumped up, and it really gets you into like the mindset of playing Doom, and like you're moving fast, you got to get stuff done, and you're hyped. So those are some of my tops that I think about a lot.
On top of that, I do want to say that I love the entire Doom soundtrack, Doom 1 and Doom 2, the originals. Like those MIDI converted like metal tracks were
they're
perfect.
all so cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool in Doom Eternal that you can find those tracks,
the originals and stuff. Yeah, from like the other Doom games and stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the collectibles, is you can find them and they'll play like in your little home hub. If you go up to them, you can play them and just like walk around your giant demon ship and just like kind of listen to old like
the original tracks
MIDI
from,
like you know.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna come over to you, Jan. Give it to us.
Okay, so pretty much the entire soundtrack from Final Fantasy Tactics was like one of my go-to things. Like I just loved the concept behind it. The fact that they allowed us to get like remastered and remixed versions of it in Final Fantasy 14 really made my day, because they did that whole raid tier for Ivalice in Stormblood, the last expansion, which I absolutely fucking loved everything about it. I think like the one or two, like if I were to like single out specific songs, I would say that I've got probably one or two specific ones that I like. Obviously, like my younger days, things like the Daytona USA theme, like yeah, that one.
Daytona.
Like anybody that's from that era of like arcades will always and forever remember that. You'd be walking past the 8-man fucking Daytona setup on the back wall of Dave and Buster's, and every single one of them would just do. You're just like, yes, I love this. I'd probably say that like if I had to actually narrow it down to like one or two specific ones that really meant like it's like I hear them and then I just always want to listen to them forever and ever and ever. And if somebody makes a really good remix of it, then I'm just like, I love this fucking song. Like I think my number one would probably have to be Shala's theme from Chrono Trigger. Like that's my easily like the number one that I hear. Like I hear it and I'm just like, this fucking song just means fucking everything to me because, and especially Shala's theme because like that part of that game occurred at a time in my life when I was in kind of a really fucked up place. So when I finally started playing Chrono Trigger, like around the time that it came out, and I got to the fucking sky area and I heard that theme kick in, I was like, oh, I love this fucking game. It's so good. Like aside from that, I'd probably say like I don't know, it's kind of hard to but I'm trying to find it.
Well, on that topic, here's a question for you guys. Do you have any earworms stuck in your head and you can't remember what game it's from?
No, not that
No,
I can think of.
I can typically like think the melody and then like I kind of like type it into Google and I'm able to find it normally.
Like sometimes
Like,
I'll actually
it-
have like a game melody stuck in my head and I can't remember what game it came from. I'm like, because I have like a ton of games like stuck in my head when it comes to melodies, and then once in a while I'll have one that pops into my head. I'm like,
Wait, what's that from?
what?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because it's like maybe the game wasn't that great, but there was elements of the music that really got stuck in my head. And I wish I could name an example, but I mean, then that wouldn't be the point of of this question.
So like I feel like sometimes I hear a theme or I hear a song and I'm like, where the fuck have I heard that? And then like, cause like it'll catch me off guard, but then I won't remember what it's from, and then I'll like go and I'll start playing the game that it's from, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the song. Like that happened with me with like Our Fighting from PSO2. It was really funny because like I love that fucking song, and it'd been ages since I actually saw the Kuna concert on the Japanese servers.
Mhm.
So like when I remember somebody had started playing something about like the fact that they were finally bringing PSO2 to these states, someone had found a copy of the Miyavi version of Our Fighting, and they were playing it as part of the background for the video that they were talking about the release PSO2, and I'm like, wait, that's PSO2? Fuck, I forgot about this song. I love this fucking song.
That reminds me, I need
So,
to start
like-
buying the rest of the soundtrack. I only have one volume out of like 5.
I mean, that's fair. The soundtrack for that game is fucking amazing. Plus all the
yeah.
other games that they like borrowed from to bring into for like your jukebox and stuff was great. Like they have a bunch of shining games that they put soundtrack bits and pieces in from also, which I'm just like.
Problem with that soundtrack
yeah.
is it's now like $40 to $50 for just one volume. It's gone up
that's
in price,
cool.
and that kind of makes me mad.
Licensing.
Yeah. Well, I
But,
mean, I'm
like-
talking like eBay and resellers on Amazon.
See,
that's
that's
fair.
why I
That's
just
your first
download
problem.
shit. That's why I just
Exactly. Yeah.
download shit.
No, the other thing I was thinking of, the one that really like I hear it, I'm like, ah, yes, this is my fucking jam. Was Makoto's theme from Street Fighter 3. Third Strike. Like Makoto is like one of my top favorite characters from just about any fighting game in general. I have a whole list of them. I could talk them out about it, but anyway, A, yes, they're all waifus. B, yes, I love all of their themes because again, they hold very dear to my concept of certain characters have specific music, and those characters really resonate with me because of that music. Music for me is a huge deal, especially when it comes to my games, because I feel like if the music doesn't draw me in, the rest of the game probably won't. Even if the gameplay could be super stellar, if the music is like beeps and boops and shit, and it's not like ambient or like built to actually sound like it makes sense in the context, like the rest of the game is just poop. Like there's no reason for me to play it. But when I really think about kind of stuff like that, like a lot of the stuff that you guys have already talked about, like the 1-1 theme from Super Mario 2, Burning Heat, Rip and Tear, I would probably go so far as to say that literally the entire soundtrack from Final Fantasy VII, Dancing Mad, which is the Kefka fight from Final Fantasy VI, was fucking iconic as shit. I'd also like to point out that I don't know why people don't talk about the opera scene more, but anyway, because that scene was fucking godlike. But at the same time, like I
That
also
scene
think
alone
of
is why
other
I want
games-
Final Fantasy VI to be remade.
I mean, it would be nice, but man,
I don't want
not a lot of
fucking.
people want that.
I absolutely do not want him touching Final Fantasy VI. I do not want anybody in Modern Square touching Final Fantasy VI
No.
because outside of the soundtrack, they would just fuck it up. Sorry,
Yeah.
they'd fuck it
No,
up.
I agree. I agree 100%. I do. Like there's definitely a couple of other like offshoot games that not a lot of people really know about from like the PlayStation era that I feel like the soundtracks were phenomenal for the time because we went from having to like vocode all of your game music directly into a chip to oh hey it's a CD, we can make it actual quality now, and like a lot of people just kind of whiffed on that, and I feel like I mean, for what it's worth, the entire Sonic CD album, like the all of the songs from Sonic CD were all super fucking phenomenal. And
Japanese or American version?
both,
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I see more
I
people
will say
saying
that
shitting on the American version, but I like
The
both
only
of them.
problem, the only thing is that some people don't like the theme song from the American version. I don't think. And
I
listen,
love Sonic
if
Boom.
you
I don't
can't, if
care.
you can't appreciate Sonic Boom, I don't want to be friends with you. You can't come to my birthday party.
You're uninvited.
Like this is my thing, 100%. Like
Right?
Sonic Boom is not my favorite song of all time or anything. Let's be real here. But if you can't appreciate like '90s era Sega theme songs, like you're gonna tell me
You're not
tell
allowed to
me
be a Sonic fan.
that you're not fucking bumping to Sonic Boom, Swing Time, and the theme song from Road Avenger. We can't be friends.
Did she just fucking drop Road Avenger? Thank you, I love it. Fucking hell.
I'm gonna get by on the road.
I think okay, so like I actually have specific songs from both soundtracks that I think were really great. I love the Japanese version of the Palm Tree Panic area, which is like I think the first area. But I am a huge fan of the English release of Stardust Highway. Because like don't get me wrong, the Japanese variant, the Japanese version was really cool and all. The future theme, but it was like I'm like, you get that shit out of here.
Now here's
Give me
one.
that real fucking techno that was in the original version that was just top quality. That song was fucking phenomenal. And like I don't care what anyone says. I think that's probably one of the best songs of the whole soundtrack.
Yeah. For a song, I would have to say, I mean, this one pops up in my head. And you
is
can,
that the adventure game fucking Full Throttle?
yeah, the theme song by Gone Jackals. I mean, that's aces right there. I love it. And then I actually, it's funny too because when I played that game back in when did it come out originally? 95, 96? I didn't even realize that Mark Hamill was voicing the villain. I was like, wait, and then I'm playing the remake or remaster like 3 years ago, and I'm like, wait a second, this voice is familiar. But the music by Gone Jackals for the game Full Throttle is very catchy, and I really like it. So, any more songs people want to get off their chest that they want to scream to the heavens about, so that everybody knows about it? Mark,
I thought of one actually.
oh, go for it.
So have you guys ever played Dragon's Dogma?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so do you remember like the whatever the edition was that came out on like the 360 and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was like definitive edition or whatever. They have the opening song only on that version of it was a song called Into Free, and it's like very like piano-y, and it's like, oh, this is like a nice song, and then it's like a huge drum fill, and then it gets really metal. And at one point, the singer just like is just shrieking, "I'm flying into free." I'll put it in the chat. So Fishhook and I used to do YouTube videos together, and he was like, "I really want to play this game. We should play it." So we went to GameStop and bought it, and we took it back to my house and put it on my 360. And we're sitting there, and we're just like getting like the recording stuff set up and the main menus up, and then the song like changes over to like the rock metal side of it, and we both just kind of looked at each other and were like, we're just gonna let this play out for however long it will. And now we will just be talking to each other, and in the middle of a conversation, just like shriek, "Flying into free!" just to interrupt the other person. So that song gets stuck in my head a lot because of my best friend.
So, okay, outside of these earworms now, are there any cover versions of your songs that you like? Like, you got a whole lot of people on YouTube.
There's a metal cover that I heard of the Rasheed track that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
There's also tons of covers of Castlevania songs that are rad as shit.
Mm-hmm. I've heard some interesting songs where, they add lyrics to them, like, people like the amazing Dwayne and Brando or Brental Floss.
They can fucking eat shit.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Mark's going to have to explain this to me after the show.
One of them, I don't remember which one. One of them, just like he's just a fucking turd. That's just all I have to say about it.
Okay, but I mean, they did a great job taking the entire Mega Man 2 soundtrack and rapping over it.
I really didn't like that at all. I feel like the concept of what most of the Mega Man themes are meant to be lyricless, and the fact that other than maybe the Megas, no one's really done it very well.
Yeah. And Brental Floss, although I would have to say a lot of his songs are really hit or miss, I kind of, have to go back to his DuckTales Moon theme with lyrics, which I thought was hilarious. If anybody wants to check that out, I'll link that out in a little bit, but I don't think Brental Floss has released anything in a long time, actually. I think he stopped.
Yeah, I'd probably say that, like, the one cover that I've actually heard of Shala's, like, a lot of people have, like, covered Shala's theme just because, like, the Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross soundtrack have, like, a bajillion fucking remixes and covers.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that Rasheed EV did last year for it was, it fucking shivers, man. I love it. I get goosebumps every time I fucking listen to it. It's just so good.
Oh, I was reminded of another fucking earworm that I know for a fact Robert will remember and Jan will probably remember too. Theme from Soul Calibur. Or Soul Edge, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah!
To shine!
To shine. I mean, how could I not? Because it's literally the theme that Maximilian starts every single one of his streams with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he actually got the rights by Bandai Namco to use that song as his opening theme with his animations when he starts his streams every night.
It's just such a stupid fucking song, and I fucking love it.
I know! It's so good.
Somebody put it to the Soul Calibur 4 intro, or the 6 intro, and I was just like, you know what? I will
allow this.
I was not all that invested in Soul Calibur 6, but now that you've done this, let's fucking go. Absolutely.
The song is just so dumb and hype, and I love it.
It is ridiculously over the top for a song about fucking people in, like, the medieval era beating the shit out of each other in, like, arenas that you fall out of 30 seconds in.
Okay. Well, we're about ready to come to the end of this topic right here. Unless anybody else has more tunes popping into their head, which I am okay if you want to interrupt. So, but to wrap up this show, let's do the round table once again and see what's coming up, what everybody's got planned. We'll start with you, Jan.
To close out, I did not like Chrono Cross, but the soundtrack for Chrono Cross was fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Chrono Cross is one of the better soundtracks attached to one of the worst games I've ever played.
Outside of that, I am still doing my normal Monday through Thursday streams, 6 p.m. to 9:30-ish Mountain Time. I tried to do Ghost of Tsushima last night, but my internet decided to poop on itself a bunch, so I couldn't actually get very far. But
does it require internet connection to play?
No, it literally, my stream just kept pooping on me.
Oh, your stream. Okay, I was like...
Yeah, like, I was trying to stream it last night, and my stream just kept crashing. Like, every 30 minutes, I'd have to, like, reset it, and I'm just like, nah, I'm done. But, Ghost is fucking gorgeous if you have a PS4 to play this fucking game. I would say that right now I have a very solid trilogy of games that are all in line for my game of the year of this year. And it's Ghosts, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Neo 2. So we'll see. Unless something else, unless I'm absolutely 110% blown away by Cyberpunk, we'll see.
All right.
Other than that, nothing really super big. I've got a couple of collabs that are coming up either this week or next week, so we'll see. But other than that, nothing super big.
Oh yeah, you were talking about a few months ago that you were invited to be part of a VTuber like podcast at some point. Has that ever happened yet, or?
So, fun fact: the person that was actually doing it was Little Miss Pedophile. So that
so that fell through like hardcore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Though there is another VTuber.
Dodge that bullet! Woo!
Ooh, yeah, no kidding. But no, there is another VTuber who's actually looking to start up another like interview like podcast sort of series. So we'll see. There's a good possibility I'll probably end up on that one, but yeah, for right now, no, that was what that was all about.
All right, and Spencer, what have you got going on, sir? Hopefully more Vampire Masquerade madness.
Yep. So every Monday we still do the Vampire the Masquerade. Blah. I just forgot words for a second. I'm really sorry. Show
Words
that we
are
have
hard.
dubbed All My Friends Are Undead, where Mark is our storyteller and leads us along the ridiculous journey of our ridiculous crew being vampires.
Has he killed anyone yet?
Not yet. Surprisingly, we could have probably died last night, but thankfully we didn't.
That's what fucking happens when you touch everything.
Look, man, I just did what you all told me to do, okay?
I didn't tell you to do shit.
What my stupid friends told me to do. Whatever.
Mark, aren't you his friend?
That should be the title. The gang fucks Gregory. There we go.
Basically, yeah, that's what happened to me. Other than that, I am streaming on my own every other Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, we are playing Deadly Premonition 2. We just started it and have not gotten far. I know that there's an update that is already out for it that's supposed to fix some of the frame rate issues and various other things. So hopefully that will help, because there have been some frame rate issues for sure. But I love the first game, so I had to give this one a play as well. So those are the main things that we got going on right now.
Okay, and Mr. Mark B. Writing to round this out.
Well, first off, just to address the comment you introduced there. I'm not allowed to tell him to do anything. I'm the storyteller, so I just kind of let them make the decisions about what they want to do. If anybody screws anybody, it's the players screwing each other. So I am a silent partner in that whole particular situation. Unfortunately, poor Gregory's friends are all jerks.
Yeah, my friends suck.
But yeah, so we do that every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on twitch.tv/Mr. Pure Instinct. And then MPI releases it onto every podcasting platform known to man, woman, and child. So if you can't catch us live, you can always watch it on YouTube, or you can just listen to it. I don't think there's a lot necessarily lost from not seeing it versus hearing it, because we don't use props or anything of that nature, but it's up to you. I did not stream anything this past weekend, just because I didn't really feel in the mood for it. I may stream this weekend. We'll see. I don't know. If I do, that'll be over at my YouTube channel, or Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MarkBWriting. I've also been kind of coerced by a friend of mine who is starting his own podcasting network, where he wants me to resurrect Neo Kobe Pizza. So I'm kind of sort of seeing if that'll get off the ground floor. I've actually managed to convince my one friend, who's a personal friend of mine, Twitch streamer Feng Rush, to maybe do an episode. So if I can do that, that'll be huge. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just trying to get like a bunch of new people, as well as the original people that I was working with, to come up with a topic that we can talk about for an hour, and then get myself motivated to record and edit that shit.
Sounds good. All right, and with me, I'm still doing, my bi-weekly streams. I did my most recent Virtua Fighter bi-weekly this past Sunday, and that is picking up steam. Apparently, I am now a part of the Virtua Fighter revival, and the scene has started picking up again, which is kind of crazy. So there's, like, literally online tournaments for that game popping up all over the place, and apparently I'm a huge contributing factor to it. But my next online stream will be on the PlayStation 3, will be August 2nd. I do mine every 2 Sundays. GVN Live will also be returning on August 4th, 2 days later. Outside of that, my stream schedule is, I'm still trying to keep it Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with the random stream of playing whatever here and there. I am trying to start streaming a new podcast. For wrestling. The name of the podcast, I actually had to do a lot of research for, and I think I found a happy medium, because some of these podcasts are pretty close to the name, but they're off by like 1 or 2 words. So we have settled on the name, Just Another Damn Wrestling Podcast. So, yeah. Yes, super original. I'm glad I thought of it all on my own. But right now, the problem is just finding a consistent date to be able to do this podcast with the 3 other people that I'm with in a group on Facebook. We're not sure when we're going to be doing it. I might actually end up letting it fizzle, because it's looking to be very difficult to do. But outside of that, I'm hoping to maybe just do some random streams of Shenmue 3, because I need to get back into beating that game. So that's it for me. That's it for Mark. That's it for Spencer. That's it for Jan. So I want to thank everybody here for tuning in to us on both Facebook and on Twitch. Thank you for watching us. Again, the next episode of GVN Live is August 4th. And on behalf of everybody here, have a good night.